Hey everyone, you're listening to Ankur Warikoo on Woice with Warikoo. On this podcast, I talk to you about entrepreneurship, how to grow in life, manage personal finances, handle failures, and a lot more things that just come to my mind. The episode begins. So, the other day, I was addressing the incoming batch of students at a really large university in India. And I spoke about my experiences of what I think are things that they should watch out for as a college student, the usual mistakes that most college students end up making, which is spending time with people who are like them or getting entitled or getting comfortable, so on and so forth. But I left them with this message that I wanted to share with all of you as well through this podcast episode. And that is how college failed us and failed us miserably, to be honest. Because what college tends to do, or what we also think the purpose of college is to the great extent, is to give us skills, that will take us ahead in life. And that was true for the longest time. If I look back at my parents and their generation, the college that they went to gave them skills, whether it was engineering or doctor or lawyer or commerce or humanities or journalism, music, whatever the case may be, whatever stream, whatever topic, they equipped them with those skills, gave them a degree at the end of those 3, 4, 5 years. And with that degree, they went out into the professional world and had flourishing careers, or at least stuck to that career for a really long time. And that was perfectly fine. It served them well because they may have made a bad choice of which career to go in, and they may be miserable because of that their entire life. But it wasn't that the market was changing so dynamically that what they had been trained upon in college and thus got to hone their skills on while on the job was suddenly redundant. That wasn't the case. And in my generation, when I look at my peers who I went to in school and college, I see a lot of them have already changed their careers. And it's been what, 20 years? 15, 20? I graduated from ISB in 2006, so it's been 15 years. I graduated out of school in 98, so it's been 20, 21 years. And that's the span, right? So in those 20 years, I've seen so many people change their career diametrically opposite to what they were doing when they were in college. And I am arguing that if you're in your 20s right now, if you're in your late teens right now, you're going to witness a very different world from what we witnessed or our parents did. And that is a world that's rapidly changing at a speed that no one can predict or make sense of. Think for a second. 2008 was when the first smartphone in the world called the iPhone was launched. And we're only 13 years into the smartphone era and how it has taken over the entire world. 2004 is when Facebook was launched. 2006 or 7 when it became open and came into India in somewhat of a big way. And now look at Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and they feel like blood and oxygen to us, almost necessities as against choices that we make to spend our time or not. You look at the internet. The internet is less than 30 years old. It's come after I was born on this planet in the public sense of how we see it today. And when you look at something like Geo, it was launched in 2015, which changed the entire game for the internet in India. Things are happening, not even in terms of decades, but in terms of years. So if you're sitting there thinking that you're going to college and getting a degree, and that is going to serve you for the rest of your life, you already know that you're a fool. And for those who are all out of college, are working, and are now thinking, what the hell did college even give us? I think that's a very fair question to ask. And here is what I think college ought to have done but didn't. And I would stand here saying that if college didn't do it for you, you have to do it for yourself. In my opinion, the purpose of college was to teach you how to become a student. In my opinion, the purpose of college was to teach you how to become a student. And what I mean by that is that in a world that's so rapidly changing and is completely altering itself every few years in a way that no one can predict, the only hope in hell that you have is that you know how to learn something new and unlearn what you already know. That's the only hope in hell you have. And that was my message to everyone that I was addressing yesterday, saying, you know what? It doesn't matter that you're going to one of the finest universities in this country. What matters is, do you know at the end of this 3-4 year journey for yourself, do you know what it is to learn something new without going to college, without having a teacher, without having a curriculum, without having exams, without even having a peer group? Do you know what it is to become a student and to learn something new? And that, according to me, is the biggest purpose of what college should have done, but never did. And in the absence of this, we're left on our own. And that is both good and bad. It's good because now we're in control and we are not waiting for something to happen. It's bad because we have to learn it the hard way through trial and error and get to a point where we understand what it takes for us to learn something new. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say you are in sales right now. That's the job that you have. And you're very clearly seeing that the world is moving to a very different kind of selling. It's mostly digital. It's mostly relationship based. And you know what's happening? A lot of the sales are not going anonymous. With blockchain coming in, with crypto taking over, a lot of people who are actually buying products and services are not even known by a public identity. So what are you going to do with your sales? Maybe not a lot. And what you now want to do is, you know what, I actually want to become a seller in the crypto world. I want to trade in NFTs. I want to trade in crypto tokens. I want to create projects which are built on crypto platforms. Great. What you going to do now? Are you going to say, I have 5 years of sales experience and I don't know where to start? Or are you now going to just deep dive into the world that is available for you for free, completely free, which is called the internet, and become a student, put on the student cap, and just dig in to a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, 12-month curriculum that trains you everything that there is to know around the blockchain, around crypto, and everything that you need to know. And these are the choices you'll have to make. These are the active choices you'll have to make. You're a software engineer. You've been coding all through and you've had a great stint, or maybe you were miserable, whatever the case may be, for 10 years, and now you want to become a product manager. What do? You got to change who you are, and that will mean upskilling yourself. You're a journalist, you're a CA student, and you don't want to do that anymore. You want to actually go and start an e-commerce company, or you want to start an Amazon affiliate program, or you want to become an Amazon seller. What you gonna do? Is there any school that teaches you how to do that? No, but you still got to learn. And that is why, if you know how to become a student, if you have the skill to understand what it takes to build a curriculum, how do you evaluate yourself? How do you learn from the best people around you? You have a skill for life. And that is what you want from yourself. This is what college should have trained us on. This is where college failed us. But we're not going to take that failure as our failure. What we're going to do is recognize that becoming a student, whenever we want to, whenever we have to, whenever we should, is the way for us to lead our life. And I'm going to do that with or without college. And if you can do that, my friend, you're set for life. You're set for the future. And I hope you really become that. Stay safe. To be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to subscribe and follow the show on this app right now. Also, don't forget to rate and review the show because that just feels nice. Thank you. If you like this podcast episode, then please remember to subscribe to the channel because every week you will be notified.